I believe the spiritual being is trapped in a body. Okay, I believe I'm a spiritual being, not a human being. You're like, I am the greatest, but dude, you ain't the greatest. You're out there like, I'm living the dream. You ain't living the dream. That ain't a dream you're living. I heard a man tell me once, he's like, Grant, money won't make you happy. I'm like, son, you ain't got any money. Quit giving advice on something you failed at.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 and 9. For my top 10, top 10, 9 and 9. This one's for my top 10.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You've got Michael Jordan level talent at something. So get ready to push the limits, become obsessed with success, and change the way you look at things with Grant Cardone and my take on his top 50 Rules to Success Volume 4 to give you the confidence, motivation, and belief that you need. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, push the limits.
Human beings are trapped in, as spiritual beings, they're trapped. This is what I believe. I believe the spiritual being is trapped in a body. Okay, I believe I'm a spiritual being, not a human being. The spiritual being would have tremendous potential, unbelievable potential. It would be the light on the candle, not the candle. The body would be the candle, okay? And the spiritual being would be the flame. I'm the flame. And I want to see, how hot can I burn? Okay, how far can I go? How much light can I bring to the world? How much positive truth message can I bring this planet? How much more can I do? And I think the problem is people are settling out with just enough. Pay the bills, take care of my family, get my little box, get my little house, put my little welcome mat on the front, put the little gate around the yard. We're all gonna be happy. I don't want the box. I don't want one location. I don't need the welcome mat. I want to know the world. I want to travel the world. I want to do more. I want to be in more places. I want to have friends in every country. I want to inspire people in every language. And I want other people to see, and they can do the same thing, you know? And maybe at the end of all this, I just become everybody's uncle that I never had.
Rule number 2, become obsessed with success.
If you're a business owner, you have to see the future. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to look forward into the future. What's going to happen next? If you're driving a car, it's responsible to look ahead. Everybody agree? If you're skiing down a mountain, you might want to keep your attention out in front of you. If you're riding a motorcycle, you might want to not pay attention to right where you are, but where you're going. Pay attention to the future. What dreams and goals do you have that are more important than the money you have? Invest money to hit your targets. Quit telling yourselves lies about money. Exchange money. The only purpose of money is to exchange money for time and connections. The only reason you have money is to exchange money for time and people. You need people, folks. You need people, man. You're going to grow your business with people that work for you and people that you sell products to. Be so obsessed with the idea of freedom and making a difference that you will do anything. I'll go into debt. I'll spend my last dollar. This is how you're going to be successful, folks. I'll borrow money from my mom. I'll borrow from my dad. I'll borrow from family members. I'll go raise money. I'll go beg on a street corner. I'll go sell t-shirts and hats. Failure after failure. I'm obsessed so much with my freedom that I'm willing to talk to people even if I'm an introvert. Okay? I'm willing to go talk to old people if I'm young. I'm willing to go talk to young people if I'm old. I'm willing, if I'm out of work, I'm willing to go take a dumb sales job just to get my feet back underneath me. Become so obsessed that everybody's like, what's wrong with you, man? You change it.
Rule number 3, change the way you look at things.
You got to change your friends. Whoa. If you're friends, you need to make these people your friends. People that have time to get away, people that are working, people that are creating. Surround yourself with people that are doing things that are seeking to be better. I was hanging around people that were destroying themselves every day. People that were criticizing others that were successful, that were wasting time. Beautiful rock. They weren't looking for anything except how everybody else was wrong, how they had been wronged. I know because I was doing this. Spent all my time talking about how the rich guy had his kids in tennis classes and golf classes, and they had a boat and they went skiing, how he was such a prick. And when reality, oops, sorry guys, didn't mean you to hear that. When in reality, she didn't hear that. When in reality, I should have been looking at, dude, what did this guy do to create a situation where he could pay for his kids to learn tennis, if they want to, golf, and skiing. I was asking the wrong questions. I would tell my 20-year-old self, change the questions you're asking. Change the way you look at things. Quit being so resentful and hateful. You know, get your game together, dude.
Rule number 4, get a lot of attention.
My business is kind of different. I own a hair salon, and I have started a brand for myself and probably went about it the wrong way. I started it doing booth rental instead of commission. And in the business, I'm kind of maxed out at making as much as I can make for the size. So I know I need to expand, but I also know that I have to be taken serious as a woman. And I feel like it's a difficult thing to do. And I don't want to do it the wrong way this time. So I don't really know how to be taken seriously. I'm petite, I have blonde hair, I always have crazy fingernails, or sometimes it's purple, sometimes it's blue.
Yeah.
So I guess the question would be, where do I go from where I'm at?
Dude, get a lot of attention. I think you just got to get a lot of attention. You know, everything, the red, the blue, the long nails, the short nails, anything that gets attention. Like, you have to get people's attention. You guys have to get interesting. So, again, she doesn't like some of the things I do. I have to do that. I believe in my mind I have to do some of that to capture attention. Whether that's true or not true, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's not true. You know, I know this. If somebody wants to have a movie and it wants to be a great movie at the theaters, they got to get a lot of attention to get somebody to go to the movie. You got to be willing to get people not to like you.
And what does that look like?
You have to be willing
like just
to,
by promoting so much that you irritate people. Like, what does it mean to get people not to like you?
Rush Limbaugh, who's a pretty divisive guy, says, you know, the people that love him listen to him 2 hours a day, and the people that hate him listen to him for 4 hours. People that hate him listen to him for 4 hours a day. So I'm just saying, everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants to be the popular person. You guys got to be willing to tell people your hair looks terrible.
Oh, I mean, I do. I'm actually very, very good at my job. I just don't know how to take it to the next level, I guess. Maybe I'm scared, or I have money saved.
What's your website? What's your Facebook?
And
right,
it would...
Right there?
Nope, the one underneath that.
See, I don't have a picture of you. So I'm going to go, is that you?
Yes.
Or is that your kids?
Well, there's a picture of me, and then it's my daughter.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to see your daughter right now. I want to see you, right?
I have a hair therapy page. It's under hair therapy.
Yeah. I see hair therapy. I see it right here. Mm-hmm. So like, right, okay, now we got the dogs.
Yeah.
But now, she's a veterinarian.
Right.
So like, okay, now I got hair. Okay, that's good. Before and after round. Like you guys got to like get clear on what the message is, right? She needs you need a business page.
Right.
The trick is you got to get attention. Elena just wrote a book called Build an Empire, okay? She has to get attention for the book, which means leak out data about the book. Not about anything else, but that book. What is it? What chapter? What audio? What am I listening to? Why am I listening to it? What do I get out of it? Like constant pushing into whatever you do with hair therapy.
Okay.
And see, good, but dinner date. But what do I do with the dinner date?
Yeah.
See, like this is where everybody's like, when's enough, man? When do you just enjoy yourself? I don't know. I'm going to enjoy myself when I'm in a position to just enjoy myself.
Also, if you want to have more confidence and self-love, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
You have to go build self-confidence. I've been at a point in my life where I thought less of me than anyone thought of me. How many have been there? My dreams are first every day, then my wife, then my kids. I can take care of my wife and my kids now. Would you agree? I abandoned this. This is the fuel for who I am.
Rule number 5, re-educate yourself on money.
You live on an economic planet, regardless of your race, regardless of where you came from, regardless of your religion. You live on a planet that has 2 things on it. Gravity, I can't fly, and I'm reminded every day of gravity, right or wrong. Every day. I'm reminded of it so much, I don't even know that it's not normal that I shouldn't be able to jump 7 feet. Right? And number 2, money. Every day you are reminded this is a financial planet, okay? I got a little credit. I don't have any cash on me today, none, because I'm a real estate guy. Real estate guys are always broke, okay? But I got me a little card. I can use this to open boxes, and I can use it to buy a box, right? See, how many of you were told all credit cards are bad? How many have been told debt is bad? How many have been trained that? Oh, all debt is bad debt. I got about $500 million worth of debt. I got to tell you, I love it almost as much as my wife and kids. I do love it, man, because it generates income for me. Now, I'm telling you all this to tell you, look, you have been miseducated. If you're having trouble with money, it is because you have the wrong data. It's not because you're stupid. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you have a bad job. Okay, I've had all those excuses. You have the wrong information. The first 25 years of my life, I used the information that is being disseminated by TV and mass media. Save your money. Say yay if you heard that one. Okay, you were brought up on that one. If you were brought up poor middle class, say yay. No, you can't say it like that. Say it like you're proud. Yes, I was poor. Say yay. No, were you brought up poor or middle class? Oh, I'm going to tell you something. It's going to take you forever if you don't get your freaking enthusiasm right. Look, if you're poor, admit it. But damn, I'm poor, and then hate it because you shouldn't be. If you're in the middle, by the way, if you're middle class and you got 3 meals a day, you got a car out there you can make the payments on, you got a little education that you think is worth something and it's not, okay? And you got a good mom and a good dad and you were brought up in a good family, good for you, but dude, that don't pay the bills.
Rule number 6, never be satisfied.
Do you ever ask yourself, dude, when are you going to make it? Do you ever suffer from this idea that you could do more than you're doing? And no matter how much people around you love you or, oh, you're doing great, pat you on the back, you're doing phenomenal, amazing. I've been told my whole life I was doing amazing. I remember I was 29 years old. I was the leading salesperson where I worked. I mean, I wasn't the best salesperson. I was the best salesperson by like 3 or 4 people. Breaking records, doing stuff that had never been done. Everybody's telling me how great I was, and I was like, but I know I can do more. I don't know if that's suffering, some kind of like mental disease, some kind of never satisfied with. I've heard all these people talk about, I remember the guy said, hey, your disappointments in life are equal to your expectations, suggesting that you not have expectations. And if you lower your expectations, then you won't have disappointments. I gotta tell you, man, I mean, I can't even make sense of that. I'm like, I have to have expectations of myself. I know I can do better. I know I can do more. So if me having big expectations of myself mean I'm gonna be disappointed from time to time, that's the way it's gotta be.
Rule number 7, learn about real estate.
The one other thing that I would tell my 20-year-old self, look, I own 7 businesses. And I would not tell the 20-year-old Grant to go get six businesses. I would tell him to learn everything he can about real estate. Everything. Real estate is the business that's allowed me to go on these magnificent trips that I'm taking my family on. I've been in business for myself for 30 years. Okay? 6 businesses combined do not allow me to go on these trips. It is the real estate by and of itself that's allowed me to take my wife and kids, employees, partners, friends on these magnificent trips.
Rule number 8, get to the top of the food chain.
When you're hating on somebody in your same space, right, or they're hating on you, remember this. You keep focused on creating massive, massive success. Okay? Because when you get up to the top of the food chain, whatever the food chain is in your space, whether it's financial or insurance or real estate or influencers or podcasters, or maybe you're doing a real business. You're not doing it. You're not an influencer and you're not a podcaster. You're like, dude, why are all these guys spending all this time doing podcasts? I got a business to grow. I got employees. Maybe you're doing that. So, what's my point? Anytime you watch any of my videos, you say, dude, what's the guy really talking about? I'm doing this for you. I don't get paid to do it. So if you're getting any value out of this, I'm telling you, when you get up the food chain, and you will because you're watching me, you will get up the food chain. You will become a super successful person, but you won't if you hate. You will not become super successful if you take the time to worry about these other people in your space. Flow and power, man. Love on them. Send them love, send them customers, send them deals. But don't be surprised when they don't send it back. Because they're not. No book tells you this. All these guys doing their little quotes, talking about abundancy, scarcity, but watch how they act when you get up there, man. Watch it, man. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be like, Cardone told me. While I was eating snow, the dude told me that they were going to hate on me. I had somebody call me the other day and said, hey, dude, I want to give you some. You need to know how to handle some of these situations you're running up against, okay? Because there's a way for you to prevent some of this. These people hating on you. I said, dude, I'm not going to try to prevent somebody from being stupid. That's just dumb. I got enough insurance in my life already. Most of the time, the accident never happens. The way to ensure that these haters and criticizers and little thinkers don't bother you is don't be them, number one. Number two, keep flowing them love and power, baby. Number three, get to the top. Get to the top of the food chain, where everybody at the top knows you. And the people that wouldn't flow you on the way up, or wish they didn't do what they did, okay?
Rule number 9, quit making sense of the failures.
Who saw the fight last night? Just goes to show you, man, you can't take 8 months off, 8 months of drinking and showing off and bragging and running your mouth. You can still get cracked. You got it, you know, huh? Yeah, too many days off, man, too many days off. You got to pay the price every day, folks, otherwise you lose, period. You will get beat. You're going to get beat in the marketplace if you don't train every day. I'm wearing my Cardone University t-shirt because if you don't train every day, don't expect to make the sale. If you don't train every day when you leave here, do not expect your people to follow up. If you don't train every day, do not expect your people to answer the telephone correctly. If you don't train every day, do not expect your people to be motivated to do the right thing. If you don't train every day, if you don't require training every day, if it's not mandatory every day, you will not get the cash flow. You will get just enough money to pay the bills. And by the way, everybody's got that figured out. Everybody on the planet has figured out how to pay their bills. Even people that don't have any money are figuring out how to eat. Everybody agree? So don't be bragging about your bicycles and your 2 BMWs and your country club that you paid for and the roof over your head and you paid your utilities and your gas. And don't tell me that, oh, somebody else has got it worse than you. Of course somebody else has got it worse than you. I hear this all the time from people. Okay? Somebody gets whacked. They have a bad situation happen. They're like, but I'm grateful. What do you mean you're grateful, man? You're filing bankruptcy. I know, but I still got my health. But you don't have your financial health. You shouldn't have gone bankrupt. You should have prepared for it. Don't make sense of the failure, okay? If you're taking notes, quit making sense of the failures.
Rule number 10, get cash flow.
I want to talk to you about the cash flow. I'm talking about the cash flow, not the snow. I'm talking about getting that third flow. You work, your wife works. Yeah, y'all cracking some freaking smack daddy money. You getting some long green. You made your first $1 million last year. That's right, between the two of you. After you paid your taxes, you end up with 4 or 5, maybe 600, if you know how to play the game. But what you don't have is number 3. Your cash don't work. You got scared once you put away your first milli. You and the wife are like, oh no, what do we do now? You called your uncle, not me, not Uncle G. You called your other uncle, the confused uncle. He said, pay the house off. You called your financial advisor. Start investing in 401ks and the IRAs. And then you saw something I said about cash is trash. A home is dumb equity. What are you doing, folks? Get that third flow. It's like a good snowstorm, baby. You need that third flow when you can't work. You can't crank. You can't create. The third flow of income is the one you buy. You take your dead money. Cash is trash. Take that dead money and get it invested in hard assets. And only make a decision to invest in those things that pay you cash flow. You invest cash, you get back cash every single month.
Rule number 11, push yourself.
Muhammad Ali said he was the greatest.
I am the greatest.
He said that before he got in the ring. I know a lot of you out there think you're like, I am the greatest, but dude, you ain't the greatest. You're out there like, I'm living the dream. You ain't living the dream. That ain't a dream you're living. So when you're hearing this and you're like, man, I like what he just said. Yeah, because you agree with it or you needed it. Because if you agreed with it, that doesn't help you grow. Things that I agree with do not get me my growth. Growth is typically painful. It hurts. Doesn't feel good. I have to push through it, right? Think about the tree roots growing. They're having to push through cement. Probably doesn't feel good. So are you pushing through cement? Are you getting that extra segment in? Are you doing this every day? You know, are you pushing for the sale? If you can't push yourself, how are you gonna ever push somebody else? In the completion of an activity, in the successful completion of an activity is where, ladies and gentlemen, you will find yourself.
Rule number 12, get addicted to productivity.
I don't end up doing things that are destructive when I'm busy doing things that are constructive. The truth is, I was never a drug addict. I just had too much free time and made bad choices. This planet is filled with bad choices. Pornography, strip joints, casinos. If you were filled up all day long with activities, if you were addicted to productivity, if you were junkied out on potential, you wouldn't have time for all the other garbage. I wouldn't spend money on stuff I don't need. When is that money spent? When do we waste most of our money on this planet? During the holidays, when we have free time. When do you spend your money? When do you go in debt? On the holidays, free time. So if I can just stay busy, if I can use time and create time. How do I create time? I have 24 hours and I'm gonna jam as much in those 24 hours as I can, and then I'll let you worry about me burning out, because that's what I'll hear next. What about burnout? When you're gonna burn out? Look, I'm 60 years old. The more I do, the more I can do, and the younger I get. The more I do, the younger I feel. The more I do, the younger my body feels. I'm not gonna burn out. I'm not a candle. I'm not wax.
Rule number 13, show up.
Oh, hey, a lot of people talking about showing up. Some people denigrating on my showing up rule. It is, ladies and gentlemen, not 80% of success, regardless of what anyone tells you. It is probably more like 99.9% of success. And anybody that says otherwise is just trying to get some attention unnecessarily, because I already love all you guys. Check it out. Like, if you don't show up, you have no chance of anything happening. And once you show up, physically show up, then you got a chance of the rest of you showing up and you being freaking unbelievable superstar. But if you don't show up for the audition, the sales call, the speaking gig, whatever it is, you don't show up for work, man, nothing. If you don't show up and buy that lottery ticket, you can't win it. Then you got to get a little lucky. Then you got to persist. Then you got to do all the other things you got to do. But first, you got to show up.
Rule number 14, don't let others label you.
Look, man, I've been labeled OCD, ACD, compulsive obsessive, COD, bipolar. You know, they wanted to put me on lithium, Prozac, all this medication, okay? I mean, real, like serious drugs. I'm not talking about smoking weed on the weekends. And that was supposedly to handle my energy or my creativity or the fact that I didn't like sitting in a chair for 45 minutes at a time in school listening to a history class of something that happened 300 years ago that had nothing to do with me when I'm sitting there saying, hey, listen, I just want to learn how to make some money, man. So, you know, it's finally when I quit letting everybody, all these average people, label me and said, you know what, I'm going to take this obsessive, compulsive, this whatever this energy is that has been, you know, made wrong by society. I'm going to take this energy and I'm not going to suppress it anymore. I'm going to use it. So for all the kids out there, teenagers that are being mislabeled, millennials a label, man. Introvert is a label. Lazy is a label. Nobody's lazy. Nobody is born lazy. These labels are being given to people incorrectly. And the truth is, nobody's actually lazy, okay? You're not born lazy. You're made lazy. You're allowed to be lazy. You're encouraged to be lazy. You're surrounded by a bunch of people that are lazy, and then you become lazy. People that are being labeled OCD, ADD, ADHD. I think they're geniuses. It's waiting for you. There's this big gift sitting there waiting to bubble up. Don't medicate it and don't push it down. Give it a voice. Let it be greatness and genius rather than something bad.
Rule number 15, take responsibility.
The president of Mexico was on the phone with me today. Now,
That is so cool. But what
now I'll tell you what it was, because I've been making decisions to change my network. I'm tired. I over and over. I am sick and tired of the same group that maybe for whatever reason they're just not happy with something I did. And he did that, and he did this, and he said that, and I didn't like
So
that.
boring,
and,
right?
But dude, I'm like, okay,
I want to play big games.
I need a new story, right?
Yeah.
So I made the decision. I went on the chalkboard and started saying, new friends, new network. Don't complain about them. They are where they are. It's not anybody else's fault.
No.
Whatever I'm getting in my life.
It's us. We're not
it's
satisfied
me.
with
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
I want a different game. I want a new game.
Because everybody else is hanging around those people. They're fine. They're all having a good time. And I'm the one disappointed. Yeah. So I'm the one that has to go to the chalkboard and map out, I need a new network. It's not his fault. It's not, don't be disappointed with them. I need to change. Nobody else in the world needs to change. And so ever since I was 25 years old, when I went to a treatment center and had to confront my drug addiction, the one thing I learned there that was so valuable was you are responsible. Then they confused me with, you're responsible, but it's not really your fault because you got a disease. I'm like, which one is it? Am I responsible? Or do I, and I chose to say, hey, it's not the disease. I am responsible. And I haven't used drugs for 36 years. So,
super well done.
now I need to apply that same calculation to, I want to change my network. On the phone with the president of Mexico.
Rule number 16, master sales.
You need to learn how to communicate with people. Okay, the site here says, the PowerPoint says, learn to become a professional salesperson. When I think of the professional salesperson, I think about a professional communicator. Someone who knows how to make contact. Someone who knows how to control the conversation. I don't think about a swindler. I don't think about a tricky dude. I don't think about a huckster. I don't think about a scam artist. I think about, dude, this guy showed me something I didn't know. You know how many things that I almost bought were the wrong thing, but a professional salesperson with a full pipeline said, no, dude, you don't want that. One of the best salespeople I know, okay, a guy named Robert, I'm not gonna give his last name because I don't have permission. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. $25 billion worth of real estate. Hey, Robert, is this a good deal? Yeah, but that's not the one I would do. I would buy this one over here if I were you, okay? See, he's a professional. He's a communicator. He'll tell me when I'm doing wrong. He'll tell me when I'm right, tell me when I'm wrong. He'll challenge me. He's not playing games trying to like match tones. I saw this video the other day, matching people's sound. Did you see it? Okay, get right at the right moment. At the right moment. Lower your voice. And I don't want to do that. I'm talking about a professional salesperson that doesn't have to rely on tricks because their pipeline's so big. There's 7 billion people on the planet that are qualified and interested in buying your product. You do not need to trick people, and that's why so many people think commission, I don't want to be a salesperson, equals I don't want to be a huckster. Well, you don't have to be if you're a professional.
Rule number 17, be obsessed with success.
My mother was there for me when I didn't need her to be there for me, okay? She never let me down, but that doesn't mean she pushed me up. You understand the difference? My mom was a great mother. She was always there for me. It didn't mean she pushed me up to the next level though, because every time I went to my mom and said, Mom, let me tell you what I'm doing, she would be like, that's awesome. But just, son, remember, I love you just the way you are. How many of you have a parent that will tell you that? Just remember. I was 50 years old and she would still tell me that. She's 70, she was 78 at the time. She's like, just remember, I love you just the way you are. You've done enough. When's enough, Grant? You're doing fine, Grant. I love you just the way you are. Love yourself the way you are, Grant. I'm like, but I don't. I can't lie to myself. I do not love I don't. Chuck knows what I'm talking about. Chuck hates himself. Chuck knows he can do more. Chuck, am I right, Chuck? And then he's trying to communicate that to his wife for his wife to get it. And his wife is like, Chuck, what's wrong with you? Are you broken? Chuck, you need a therapist. Okay? And then he's going to go see the therapist like I did. And the therapist is going to be like, oh yeah, you got ADD. You got the OCD. You got the OPD. You got the OCD, ACD, DDD. You know? I said, no, I got the OSD. I'm obsessed with success disease. I'm obsessed. And I want my damn $200 back. Don't tell me I'm ADD. I take an offense to that. Okay, I don't add, I multiply. I'm trying to figure out how to run 70 businesses and have 70,000 employees. I'm not worried. What you worried about? You worried about how many browsers I got open in my mind?
Rule number 18, study the 1%.
The people that operate this planet, the handful, the 1%ers, have different information than you have. Okay? They're not talking about going to college. They're not talking about saving money. You don't hear wealthy people talking about, I need to buy a house. Warren Buffett, you know Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett is not like, I need to buy a house. I have to have a home to live in. Warren Buffett bought one house his whole life. He never talks about it. What's he buying? He's buying businesses. What's he investing his money in? Businesses, right? He's not buying a house where money dies.
Rule number 19, invest.
When Steve Jobs died, where did his money come from? Apple. One place was Apple. He owned some Apple stock, but that was not the majority of his wealth. Majority of Steve Jobs' wealth when he died was from? No, iTunes is Apple. No. It was an investment. Look it up. What's the name of the company? Everybody's going to know the name of the company as soon as that. Pixar. Pixar. He was one of the three founders of Pixar. That's where most of his wealth was, from investments. So to get to the top of the food chain, to get to the legacy wealth, to be able to leave your family something, which is really what everybody wants to do. Once you have the BMWs, you have the BMWs. Once you have the country club, you have the country club. Once you have the Gucci belt, you have the Gucci belt. Once you go on a yacht trip, you go on the yacht trip. Once you fly first class, well, you've done it. Even when you go out and buy your own plane, you've done it. At some point, you're gonna be like, okay, now what? Now what? When do I start giving back? You're not going to give back to society until you create indestructible wealth, which is really what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to give more and help out more and make a difference.
Rule number 20, change.
How many of you want to change?
Two things if you want to change. Number one, you got to change. You want to change a little bit? Change a little bit. You want to change a lot? Change a lot. To change, you got to change. And number two, you have to learn how to talk to people. You got to learn how to communicate. You have to learn how to stand on a stage and communicate. Maybe it's not this stage. Maybe it's not 35,000 people. Maybe it's one person. That's a stage. Your house is a stage. You're going to talk to your spouse. Your business is a stage. You're going to be talking to the Treasury Department, selling them. Stop the madness. Stop the madness. We're not going to save money here. We're going to make money here. We're going to go get money here. You're going to have a stage with your lawyer. Your lawyer's going to say, don't do it. Stop the madness. You're a lawyer, dude. I'm running a business. Tell me how we can do it. I don't ask lawyers and accountants for business advice. Record the data, you're an accountant. Do the job, you're the lawyer. Let me run the business into the ground. Okay, we're gonna run it into the ground. We're gonna do it Grant's way. Not the lawyer's way, and not the accountant's way. Two things you gotta do to change, folks. You gotta change, and you need an audience.
Rule number 21, don't stay small.
First thing you gotta do is decide, as a business owner, do I wanna make more money? See, if this dude with the camera, if his pockets are empty, he's walking around empty pockets, and he's got his fancy camera. This is the problem with the artist. They starve their whole life. They starve their entire life, and then you wonder why they're grumpy. There's no money. I'm eating at Little's all the time. Sooner or later, you hit the reality. He hits the reality. I got a nice camera. I love taking photos. I got to shoot Grant Cardone. He watches Lord Sugar leave on his jet and says, hey, why does he get to fly free everywhere, do whatever he wants, and I'm stuck with my camera and no money? How many believe that? Sooner or later, after days of going to work, months of going to work, years of going to work, sooner or later, if he works for this man, he's like, I resent this man. I resent this man. I resent that man, business owner. I resent Paul McFadden, the business owner. I resent you, so I know I won't work for you. In fact, what I'm going to do is screw things up for you. It's called disengagement. The only business people that will survive, the only entrepreneurs that will make it in business are those people that decide to grow their businesses. Little will fail. Not the little grocery store. Okay? If you try to stay small, you will fail. Okay? I'm telling you this from personal experience. I tried to stay small. I tried to manage the business. I tried to be the king of the business. I tried to have no employees because employees cost money. I'm like, I'm not gonna have any employees. I'm not gonna pay the cameraman. I'll just hire him when I do a gig. And the next time I'll hire another guy. And that'll keep my expenses low. How many are brought up like this? Keep the expenses real low where we can manage the expenses. The expenses are gonna be so small that no matter how much we make, I keep it all.
Rule number 22, brand and advertise.
You have to advertise. You have to advertise in your career to blow your brand up. You cannot not advertise and save money. It cost me probably 400, should I even say a number this big? Yes. Or do I lose everybody? No, say it. $400 million we have estimated is what it cost me because I didn't advertise for the first 20 years of my career. But before you spend $1 in advertising, and even if it was wasted, it'd be a great dollar to spend. Even if you don't get a return, you should do it. But before you do that, what you need to do is spend a lot of time, energy, and resources on branding. I made a mistake here not spending more money in advertising. I made a bigger mistake not spending more time, energy, and resources on branding, and you are making a mistake if you do any kind of metrics on did it convert, did it pay off. Branding will not pay off. Zero. You will get a zero return if you don't brand. Okay, you will get a zero return for branding in the beginning. You will never get a return on advertising if you don't brand. Branding is a must. It is senior to advertising.
Rule number 23, work on yourself.
You hang around people that are changing will not change you. I know this whole mastermind thing, we have masterminds, I believe they're great, they're awesome. But if Ryan back there hangs around me and I'm changing, that don't mean he's gonna change. So look, I've seen this for 30 years. I've gone places where the only reason everybody went there was because they were working on themselves, changing, improving, courses, classes, education. Elena and I, actually, great story about Elena and I. The only reason people went to these places was to improve themselves, okay? I gotta tell you something. Only about 10% of the people that went there flew. They were changing. They were actually making the changes. The other people were hanging around people changing. Just because you're around people changing doesn't mean you are gonna change.
You got to do the work.
To change, my brothers and sisters, you got to change. You know, Ryan hangs around me. If I change my clothes, that don't mean he changes his. If everybody in the house changes their clothes, takes a shower, put some deodorant, it don't mean if Ryan does not change his clothes and take a shower and put on his deodorant, he gonna stink.
Dropping bombs.
To change, you gotta change. It doesn't matter how many people you hang around that are changing. If you hang around everybody just getting rich, getting wealthy, doing great, creating stuff, and you're not gonna change. To change, you got to change.
Rule number 24, don't listen to bad advice.
I heard a man tell me once, he's like, Grant, money won't make you happy. I'm like, son, you ain't got any money. Quit giving advice on something you failed at. Right? If you're taking notes, you want to write this down. Never, ever, ever, ever take advice from a quitter. Never, ever take advice from a quitter, particularly financial advice. The first question I asked you today was this: do you want to make more money? Then quit taking advice from people about money that don't have any money.
Rule number 25, set big goals.
This used to be a goal of mine to make $1 million a year. That was my goal when I was 35 years old. One day, I said to myself, self, little G-dog, one day, young man. I wrote this over and over and over again. I talked to myself in the mirror. I'd sit on the toilet and say, one day, I'm gonna make $1 million. One day. And people used to tell me, that's crazy, dude. Like, why do you think so big? This is when people were telling me not to. They're like, why do you need to do all that? Why do you just be happy? Just be a good person, okay? Be happy that you live in America. Be happy that you have meals, and be happy you got good health, and all the things that the people around you that quit on money, that quit on financial freedom, that quit on possibility, that quit on their potential, all the things those people will tell you to try to convince you to quit. When in reality, what they're really trying to do is make sense of why they quit. Note to self. Okay? Last month, I distributed $1.2 million to other people. Okay? It's not money I made. It's money I sent out. So it just goes to show you how small I was thinking when I was 35 years old.
Rule number 26, go where the money is.
This is I'm at the Beverly Hills Hotel today. If you've never stayed here, you have to, okay? Every single day that I have been here, I have met someone that will help me in my career. They don't tell you this in school. They don't teach you this. Your parents didn't teach you this. You have to go where the money is. Money is not just, okay, I'm gonna buy a Lamborghini and I'm gonna buy a big house and I'm gonna buy some jewelry and I'm gonna get some nice sunglasses and I'm gonna go buy a big watch and I'm gonna go on vacation. It's about going where other people are that have money and that can help you. That can help you so you can help others, so you can help your parents, so you can take care of them, so you can take care of your kids, so you can be a good example. Look, money's not going to make you happy. You guys already know that. Everybody knows that. I don't even know why we're talking about it. Money will not make you happy. But it'll get you an Uber. It'll get you an Uber. It'll get you a hotel room. It'll get you access to the Polo Lounge. It'll get you breakfast this morning to sit at the right place with the right people, that maybe someone discovers what you're doing, what you're up to, and that takes interest. Every single breakfast, every single lunch that I've been here, and every single dinner that I've been sitting out in public, I have met someone that can literally help me with my career.
Rule number 27, keep things simple.
Do you want to make your business bigger? I know this seems really simple, but the reality is, if it's not simple, I don't care where you are on planet Earth, whether you're in Wales, I'm going to go to Glasgow tomorrow, we're going to leave here and go into Spain, I'm going to do Russia in about 3 months, I'm going to go back to Miami and do business in Miami. No matter where in the world I am, folks, if it's not simple, you're not going to make money. Listen to what I'm telling you. If it's not simple, you will not make money over long periods of time. It's got to be simple for other people to understand it.
Rule number 28, invest.
A guy invests $5,000. He's got $5,000 in the bank. Another guy's got 50 grand in the bank. And another guy's got $500,000, okay? All three of these people invested money with me. This is Cliff, this is Dave, and this is Jennifer. Okay? Cliff sent me 5 grand. Dude, it was his last 5 grand. It was as hard for him to do this as this guy to do that. Do you understand? Okay? This guy earns, I don't know, he's going to earn $300 a year. This guy's going to earn $3,000 a year. This guy's going to earn $30,000 a year. But they all had to start with this. They all start with $5,000. Everybody starts with $5,000, including Jennifer right here. She's got a 5. Just another 0. All of them had to make a decision. Should I keep the money? This is where the opportunity comes in. You got to think in terms of opportunity costs, okay? Is my money better in the bank, or is my money better in an asset that can grow over time, okay? Do I buy a watch? Okay, do I buy something stupid? That's beautiful, man. It is beautiful, but it's stupid. Let's keep it real. Stupid is as stupid does. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is stupid paddock. Okay? However, the reason, the way I bought the paddock was because the real estate that I buy, not this real estate, okay, I already distributed to these people, the real estate I invested in sent me a little check.
Rule number 29, reach your full potential.
How many heard this statement before? Knowledge is power. Warren Buffett was on TV yesterday. He's 88 years old. He's worth $83 billion. Okay, I want to know where the guy is in his cycle. Everybody's got a life cycle. I'm young, I'm broke. I get a little bit of money, I'm middle class now, okay? Now I'm rich, now I'm super wealthy, okay? And now I'm gonna die. My data points will change. Everybody agree with that? Where are you getting the data from, okay? If this is probably where I'm at right now in a number of places in my life, both my finances, my brand recognition, my international presence, my business expansion. I'm probably up on an upward slope. I might be down here and not even know it yet, okay? Because I might not know how high I could go. Probably this is a mistake. I didn't know how big I could get. So down here, what am I telling you right down here? Get your money, save it. Like if you go back and read my books, when I was 30 years old, 35 years old, I'm telling you, save your money, save all your money, save all your money. Why? I'm trying to put some money away. Then I get right here, I'm like, I need to get the money to work, right? I get here and I'm like, I need to get the people around me making money. When I'm starting this cycle, so you need to understand when you're listening to me today, leave here and you go to John Maxwell's workshop, where is John in the cycle of his life? The source of data, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was down here, animal. He was an animal. Him and Bill Gates were like carnivorous. They weren't thinking about giving money away. They didn't have any money. They were in a garage. right? Scrapping out, man, buying tacos, probably stealing a little bit. Warren Buffett down here took 500 shares of Ford Motor Company stock for free to pitch it. To tell people I have 500 shares of the IPO. In 1957, Ford Motor Company went public. He got 500 shares from the company to say he was buying Ford Motor Company. He didn't buy Ford Motor Company. They gave him the shares. It's against the law, okay? He's outside the statute of limitations. That's what he did then. That's not what he's doing now.
Rule number 30, commit fully.
Raise your hand if you've ever given up before. Giving up and quitting are very different things. One, you never try again. The other, you might. It's a possibility. If you refuse to give up, I promise you, you will have a victory. And when you do, you gotta get a sweet victory day.
Most people are getting just enough to compare themselves to be better off than other people. If you have desire in your heart, if you want to do better, you have to put your money, your energy where your commitment is.
Rule number 31, get addicted to success.
They're going to tell you, like they told me, and I believed it for a while. I did, but I didn't. Is, look, you're a drug addict. You can't help it. You're powerless. It's in your genetic code, and you have no control over it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that I believe that to be complete garbage and bullshit. Yeah. So, if I was a drug addict and it's completely out of my control, then I would have had to use drugs today.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So, using drugs is a choice.
Yeah.
I would tell you, and I would tell everybody that has that addictive nature, is congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back that you have the ability to be addicted to something.
Yeah.
And take that addiction, dude, and put it into something unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because every super successful person that I have studied and or met has the ability to be obsessed with something to the point of losing sleep, to the point of I don't need to eat. I'll go in debt. I'll go bankrupt. I'll go down with the ship to make this thing happen. And that's really what turned my whole life around, was just flipping the addiction, not trying to not be in control, not trying to turn it all over, just saying, hey, I'm going to take this energy and I'm going to dump it into work.
Yeah.
Rule number 32, advertise.
You got to advertise, and you got to spend money on marketing and advertising. If people don't know you, it will cost you a fortune. It cost me $400 million over the last 20 years because I was not spending money in marketing and promotion and advertising and social media. I actually thought social media didn't work. I was so wrong about that. I started a social media company where we actually now run ads for companies so that you get known the way I've gotten known. Today with, 1.4 million Instagram followers, 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and 6 million people on Facebook. Trust me, if you don't advertise on social media, I would call you a Dumbo. You know why? I have the right to, because I didn't think it worked either.
Rule number 33, take care of you first.
All people, men and women, they should be more greedy about their personal dreams.
Well, what if they say, well, I've got these 5 kids and I've got this responsibility and...
Yeah, you do, but you also have a responsibility yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, how can I, if I can't take care of me, how can I take care of somebody else?
Yeah.
And this has always been my battle cry. Like, I have to take care of me, how can I help anyone? I'm broken. I'm messed up. I'm coming out of a treatment center for drug addiction. I didn't need to help anybody else. I needed to get on solid ground, and I needed to make sure I wasn't going back to treatment. And then I needed to clean up the mess that I made. I needed to do this for me because, that has been my contention now for many years. Like, just keep slowly taking care of your neighborhood until you're in another zip code.
Rule number 34, improve your network.
They say your network equals your net worth. Your ability to move this planet, to change things, to get investors, funding, money, is determined by who you know. If you got a money problem, I guarantee it's got something to do with your network.
Okay, if you're having marriage problems, I assure you with 100% certainty, if you're having marriage problems, there's somebody in your network that believes in marriage problems. If you're having kitty problems, not kitty, meow. I'm talking about if you got problems with your kids, it's because your network is having problems with chilling. If you have a time problem, I don't have enough time. I can't find enough time. I'm working too hard. I never have time. I can't find time to work out. I can't find time for the kids. I can't find time for the marriage. You have a network of people that have time problems.
Rule number 35, scale.
I thought people cost money. None of these people cost anything, okay? Do you know that only 4% of companies in America make $1 million a year? 67% of all companies in America have no employees, okay? So if you stay with no employees and you're the only person working there, promise you will not make money. Less than 4% of all companies in America make $1 million a year.
Rule number 36, think bigger.
When I was at McDonald's and I got fired from McDonald's.
Flipping burgers or doing fries, or what were we doing?
Whatever they had me do. They had me do what, this is what we do, right? It's a factory. And I was 16 years old and my dad had been dead 6 years. So look, I'm uncertain. I'm 15, 16. I've just had sex for the first time. Dude, everything is so complicated.
Making $5 an hour at that point, whatever it was.
No, it's probably like $280.
Wow.
Yeah, but that wasn't the problem. I was grateful for the $280, but I was awkward. I was not confident. I didn't know how to talk to people. I hated the job. But if somebody would say, "Dude, go learn this game, so you can own 50 McDonald's restaurants," like if I would have had that idea, I'll bet you I would own a bunch of McDonald's franchises today. But I went there just for the $280.
Yeah.
Not for, hey, I want to do something. I truly think that the thing that I've suffered from the most in my life, as I look at Kobe and, all these pictures of these great people, dude, I just thought too small. I was worried about the $80. And I was worried about what the car dealers thought about me. That audience.
Rule number 37, focus on income, not expenses.
I was managing the bottom half of my financial statement, not the top 1 inch. Today, I spend 95% of my time on the top, literally inch and a half, and I ignore the rest. I might spend 3% of my time on managing expenses, costs, and budgets. I spend 95% of my time on the income of the company, on how to increase the income, how to blow up the top line. Let's see if they even let me in my office, yeah. How to blow up the top line in hopes that I can spend more money in marketing, spend more money in branding, and spend more money in employees.
Rule number 38, know your strengths and weaknesses.
I don't think I was built to be quiet, like they tell you when you were growing up, be quiet, be seen, not heard, or be heard, whatever the deal is. Don't toot your own horn, and don't get too much attention, and don't promote yourself. But look, man, God was a show off, man.
Look what he created.
Just didn't stop either.
It's not quiet.
No.
Yeah.
Like, okay, rainbows, suns, planets, like
waterfalls, everything.
Yeah, crazy, man.
I think we love people that are grateful and have humility, but we also love to see people do great things.
Yeah.
Is there a balance that they should have? Like also be grateful and humble as opposed to kind of like the McGregor.
Dude, I love McGregor.
Yeah.
See, I like that.
That's your energy. You're on that frequency.
Who doesn't like it, dude? Look at how big the audience is. Yeah. Look at The Rock. He doesn't have little muscles.
Right. But he's got more humility, let's say, if you're comparing.
He knows how to play that game. Oh my God. I mean, there's nobody better than The Rock at that. Obama was unbelievable at that.
Yeah.
At staying connected. That's what I'm terrible at. I'm awful at it. I am so bad at it.
Why?
I don't know why. I don't know why I am. I just know I'm bad at it.
Rule number 39, focus on the money.
I don't want to talk to you about execution and management and business planning and culture. I want to talk to you about money, because money, we believe, is the #1 problem in your business. It's not mission, it's not purpose, it's not all these beautiful things everybody tells you, it's not planning and organizing.
I have 7 businesses. There's 7 little companies. There's been no plan. There's been minimal organizing. Tremendous speed to market, okay, is one of the things that has made us successful. But mostly, in all the businesses, every business was created around the concept, it needs to make money. Because if it doesn't make money, you'll call yourself an entrepreneur. Because you're not going to be able to call yourself a business person. And so this industry of entrepreneurs that is now so popular, I never even knew the term until like a year and a half ago. Okay? Before that, I was in California. Somebody said I was an entrepreneur 15 years ago. I'm like, well, that's code for I don't have a job. Okay? Today, look, if you want to be an entrepreneur, good, but really what you want to do is evolve to being a business person that makes money and that provides a good living for a lot of other people, right? So, number one problem in your business is employee disengagement. It is not actually money. Money is their problem. Employee disengagement. How many of you here run a department? Let me see if you run or manage more than just yourself. Let me see a hand. How many of you here run or manage a household? Okay, good. Well, if you can't manage the household, by the way, you have disengagement at a household level. Would you agree? Husband and wife are disengaged. One's doing their own plan, this one's doing their plan. 50% of those marriages are going to fail. Okay, that's what they say they're going to divorce. Truth is, way more than 50% fail. People should not be looking at the divorce rate, they should be looking at the failure rate.
Rule number 40, be a winner.
There is no shortage of success. Regardless of their culture, race, religion, economic background, or social group, most people would agree that success is vital to the well-being of the individual, the family unit, and the group, and certainly to the future survival of all these things. Look, without success, your group, your company, your goals and dreams, and even the entire civilization would cease to survive and thrive. Winning over and over again at everything in which you're involved ensures you're going to be able to further expand and survive. And it guarantees that both you and your ideas will survive, not just get by, but survive into the future. If you quit caring, then you're going to quit winning. And if you quit winning long enough in this thing called success, you're going to just plain quit. How would being successful be important to you, and how would it improve your life? Look, success is needed in order to perpetuate, to push forward people, places, and things. You must never reduce success in your mind or in a conversation to something that doesn't matter. On the contrary, you must treat success as though it's vital, it's important. Anyone that minimizes the importance of success to your future has probably given up on his or her own chances of accomplishment, and is spending now his or her life trying to convince others, you in this case, to also give up. Individuals and groups must actively accomplish their goals and targets in order to carry on with their goals and targets. If not, look, they'll either cease to exist or be consumed and become part of something else. It's not enough just to play the game. It's vital you learn how to win at this game.
Rule number 41, be great at getting attention.
When you're in front of a customer, do I have your attention? When you're getting attention, you need to know something else is trying to get their attention too. You're in competition with everything, and you don't need to make attention. You need to get attention. They're tied together. Attention is money. Get it, keep it, multiply it. That means when I'm in a meeting, I need to get your attention. I need to get it. I need to be sure I have it. I need to keep it. And then I need to multiply that attention. Because if you don't keep my full attention, you ain't gonna get none of my money.
Rule number 42, beat the sun up.
Grant rant of the day, the one you need to live with, wake up to every day, is that right there. Okay? Beat the sun up, folks. You got to beat the sun up. If you can't beat up the roll up of the sun up, you're gonna get beat up in life. Okay, I've been doing this for a long time now. I'd say beat that thing up, that monster out there that warms this planet, that nourishes and gives us light. You can't live a 10x life if you're not beating the sun up. So many of you complain about how much time you have. You don't have time, man, because you don't beat the sun up. Get started early. And when you get started early, that means you need to shut it down early, okay? Shut it down early so you get sleep. I was asleep last night at 9 o'clock so I could beat the sun up this morning and see the world wake up with me.
Rule number 43, learn from everyone.
I don't need to spend time with a mentor. I need to study a handful of people that have proven over time they were important and that they did something. Walt Disney, he's a mentor of mine. One guy almost went bankrupt 3 times. That is a spiritual adventure. Like, hey man, how do you do that? How do you have a dream? Howard Schultz with Starbucks. I don't like his political viewpoints, but I do like the fact that everybody told him Starbucks was a bad idea. He's like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. It's a terrible idea. Steve Jobs, total maniac, like neurotic. I wouldn't do any of that stuff, but I do like the guy's ferocious commitment. So if I can rob those pieces from different people, right, and say, hey, man, I want to be more like that guy or that gal, right? You know, so you know what I'm saying? Like. That's my deal. Like, how can I mix it up with Jared? I'm interested in leaving something that lasts longer than I do.
Rule number 44, grow from victories.
I know a lot of people say they learn from their losses, but I don't. I get better because of my successes. I don't need a lot of kryptonite moments. I'm not interested in those.
Yeah. It just takes longer to grow again.
Yeah.
To get back to where you want to be.
You know, Mike told me something the other day in the hot box. He says, you know, because he started thinking differently about some of the stuff I was saying to him. And he said, I said, you know, Mike, I know you blame, you think your success is what hurts you, but I guarantee if you look back, those first fights you were winning, everything brightened up in your life when you started winning in life. Hey, Grant, my grades got better.
He got more confidence.
Dude, of course. He even learned better. I said, I don't learn from losses. I learn from successes, and then I try to repeat those things.
Do more of those things that are
and then
succeeding.
get the bucket gets bigger.
Yeah.
Right, the rim gets bigger. The field goal gets bigger. Right, everything gets bigger. It's easier to make the shot because I have the wins, and I think I feel so bad for people, particularly around money, that they never have the victories. Back to back, enough victories to be like, wow, what else could I do?
Rule number 45, get addicted to success.
When I walked out of the treatment center, the counselor, Phil, I think his name is Phil. In the treatment centers, you basically share all your secrets. I was telling him, like, I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want to write books. And the guy's like, dude, if you don't give up on all that shit, you will be back here in 30 days.
Fuck.
He's like, you need to be satisfied. I never forget the speech on the 28th day. Health insurance had run out, so they're going to kick my ass out, right? Because the money ran out. He says, if you don't give up on all these ideas, these grand illusions, the grandiosity, you don't give up on all that, you will be hated. And I threw all that addiction and the fucking obsession with destruction that you like understand as well as anyone and have talked about so eloquently. I threw all that obsessive energy into work to become a master at a few things. And that's what's really changed my life and my direction to where I can just run down a path and over the period of 35 years create something for myself that, I'm sitting in a room with Mike Tyson. What makes you obsess?
Rule number 46, study wealth.
25 years ago, I had 3 friends. My life has not always been this. I had 3 friends. One was a drug dealer. One was my girlfriend who didn't love me. She loved the drug dealer more than she loved me. She loved the drugs. She's still on drugs today. And my third friend couldn't be a friend to himself, much less to me. I had 3 friends in my entire life. I was the black sheep of my family, 5 kids. Everybody in my household was worried about Grant. Everybody, my 2 sisters, my brother, my mother,
were convinced I would end up in prison or I would end up dead. I should not be here today.
So at 25, I recommitted to my education, but this time I started studying not things that were in books, but people that had actually created wealth. Not people that had made money, but people that had created wealth. This is completely different. I was no longer studying accounting and economics. I was studying wealthy people, and only wealthy people. I'm not talking about the doctor that was a neighbor that makes $1 million a year and he's working 18 hours a day and he hates his job. Right? He's working 7 days a week. He can't ever spend time with his family. I'm talking about the yacht people. I'm talking about the people that are spending as much time as they want on vacation. I'm talking about the car dealer that had 28 car dealerships or 82 car dealerships that has indisposable money. And I quickly realized something, that the wealthy people had financial freedom and no one else did. Okay? A very small percentage of people. Lots of people have money. My uncle had millions of dollars. He was terrified about his money, wouldn't spend it, acted like a miser, buried money in the backyard. I realized my parents had it wrong. The information I had that was wrong. I started comparing the wealthy people to what my dad did. My dad worked every day of the week. If he wasn't working at the office, he was working in the yard. They saved money. They cut their own grass, okay? We ate all our food. We turned the lights off. We didn't waste anything. And that was uncertainty, it was insecurity, and it was fear. And it perpetuated uncertainty, insecurity, and fear. And all the lessons about money. Money doesn't grow on trees. A penny saved is a penny earned. Eat all your food. People are starving, okay? Money, you don't waste it, don't play with it. All that creates insecurity, and it's incorrect.
Rule number 47, be persistent.
Once I decide I'm going to do something, it's like, there's no letting, the chances of me letting go of something that's important to me, a friend, like I am either the best or worst friend a person has.
Why?
So because like if you and I are in a club and something goes down, I will be there swinging it out with you. Okay, I have no chance of winning the fight. I can only be a distraction to the thing.
Throwing a bottle.
But you're not going to see me just run.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not going to run from my dreams. Like, I'm not going to run from my kids. I'm not going to run from Elena. I'm not going to, there's nothing Elena could do that caused me to like run away from her.
Rule number 48, expand your network.
I'd get comfort and nurture from them when I failed. That's not what you need. You need to expand your network. When I was getting comfort from the people that loved me and accepted me as I was, I should have been expanding my network by investing in conferences, summits, and masterminds to get access to the way other people think, the way other people operate, and to their success so I could learn from them, and possibly, as importantly, with the network, you get to collaborate with other people.
Rule number 49, hire the right people.
We look for compliance and willingness before intelligence.
So you don't look for skill, you look for someone who's
I don't look for potential.
hungry.
I never look for potential.
What do you look for then? Just like, yes, I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
We hire the way the Patriots do.
Right.
You know, they don't hire the best guys.
Right.
They never do. They get all the rings though.
They do.
Okay, there's 3 people in charge on that team. There's not 33. It is a dictator. There's a dictator on that team. If you study all sports, I mean, it's pretty much like that too. You know, I mean, Portland doesn't really have that. You know, he leaves Curry alone, and he leaves,
Durant
alone, and they're doing good. You know, I mean, it's a different style, right? But somebody's
those are with superstars. Yeah.
Man, it's got to be so hard.
Yeah. 'Cause everyone's got a personality. Everyone's got their opinion. And,
Yeah. But so let's see how long that legacy can last.
Yeah.
What are they? 3 years now?
Yeah.
So,
Third year, yeah.
Let's see if they tear themselves apart. But I know that New England Patriots thing works.
Consistently.
There's an owner. He's not involved.
He
gives
trusts
it to
the coach.
This guy, Bill, runs the deal.
Yeah.
And then Bill gives the ball to Brady and says, go do the deal.
Yeah.
You know? So they hire from the lower half of the draft. Mm-hmm. They don't overpay for anybody. And if you don't comply, you're not getting off the team. Mm-hmm. They're going to win without a great person. I like that.
And rule number 50, the last one for a very special bonus clip, is always hustle.
Dude, I'm in the desert right now doing deals, okay? I'm in literally, look, what's the difference, 141 million or 140? $1 million on a $140 million deal doesn't mean anything. Let's just do this thing and get it done. I'm out here in the desert. How hot is it out here?
At the moment, sir, I'll say about 100. Let me just get my...
It's a cool winter day. It's a cool...
Yeah, about 106.
It's 106 degrees out here, dude. Look at you jacking me around about what? $1 million? Let's do the deal. Just do the damn deal. Just say yes to me.
Now I have a special bonus clip from Grant on how to get money that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. Where do you need to focus on income, not expenses? Number 2, what's a new big goal you wanna set for yourself? And number 3, who are some of the 1% people that you want to study?
I don't want to talk to you about execution and management and business planning and culture. I want to talk to you about money, because money, we believe, is the number one problem in your business. It's not mission, it's not purpose, it's not all these beautiful things everybody tells you, it's not planning and organizing. I have 7 businesses. There's 7 little companies. There's been no plan. There's been minimal organizing. Tremendous speed to market, okay, is one of the things that has made us successful. But mostly, in all the businesses, every business was created around the concept, it needs to make money. Because if it doesn't make money, you'll call yourself an entrepreneur. Because you're not going to be able to call yourself a business person. And so this industry of entrepreneurs that is now so popular, I never even knew the term until like a year and a half ago. Okay? Before that, I was in California. Somebody said I was an entrepreneur 15 years ago. I'm like, well, that's code for I don't have a job. Okay? Today, look, if you want to be an entrepreneur, good, but really what you want to do is evolve to being a business person that makes money and that provides a good living for a lot of other people, right? So, number 1 problem in your business is employee disengagement. It is not actually money. Money is their problem. Employee disengagement. How many of you here run a department? Let me see if you run or manage more than just yourself. Let me see a hand. How many of you here run or manage a household? Okay, good. Well, if you can't manage the household, by the way, you have disengagement at a household level. Would you agree? Husband and wife are disengaged. One's doing their own plan, this one's doing their plan. 50% of those marriages are gonna fail. Okay, that's what they say they're gonna divorce. Truth is, way more than 50% fail. People should not be looking at the divorce rate, they should be looking at the failure rate.
If you want to see the top 10 I did on Jordan Belfort, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
If that's your strategy for success, the only thing that will show up in your mailbox is not the check, it's a freaking eviction notice.
If you can't sell, if you can't influence, if you can't persuade,